Chen Mingsheng rode in Yang Zhao's car, and they arrived at the school at exactly 9 o'clock in the evening. Only the senior high school third-year students were left on campus, attending their evening self-study sessions. Yang Zhao arrived at the school gate, explained the situation to the security guard, and then walked into the campus with Chen Mingsheng. The campus was very dark at night. The third-year building of the experimental high school and the teaching building for the first and second years are separate, located closer to the canteen at the back. To get from the school gate to the third-year building, you have to walk through a small forest. The path through the forest is paved with stones and lined with peach trees on both sides. It's a pleasant walk during the day, but it's a bit troublesome at night. The campus only has lights on 2 main roads. It's pitch dark inside the forest, and there are gaps between the stones. Chen Mingsheng kept his head down, observing carefully. However, halfway through, his crutch stuck into a gap between the stones, and he almost tripped over. Yang Zhao was busy thinking about Yang Jinchen, and only reacted when Chen Mingsheng suddenly stumbled. She stopped walking and said to Chen Mingsheng, "You hold on to your crutch, I'll help you walk." She supported Chen Mingsheng's arm, helping him move forward step by step. Finally, they exited the small forest, and Chen Mingsheng let go of Yang Zhao, saying, "I got it from here." Yang Zhao made a sound of acknowledgement, and Chen Mingsheng looked at the brightly lit for-story teaching building in front of them, asking, "Your brother is here?" "Yes." Yang Zhao also looked up, saying, "Let's go." Yang Zhao and Chen Mingsheng entered the teaching building, where there were 2 whiteboards hanging on the first floor, displaying the praise board for mock exams. 2 sets of stairs lead straight up. Looking at the stairs, Yang Zhao said to Chen Mingsheng, "Wait for me here, I'll go up and find him." Chen Mingsheng looked at Yang Zhao and said, "I'll go with you." Yang Zhao said, "Then let me help you upstairs." "All right." Yang Zhao helped Chen Mingsheng go up the stairs step by step. Yang Jinchen was in the 9th class of the 3rd grade. Both the classroom and the teacher's office were on the 3rd floor. While they were going upstairs, a student holding exam papers happened to be coming down. He was taken aback when he saw them and kept glancing at Chen Mingsheng's leg as they passed each other. Once the student had turned a corner and was out of sight, Chen Mingsheng suddenly stopped. Yang Zhao was a bit confused. "What's wrong?" Chen Mingsheng was holding onto the stair railing with one hand and Yang Zhao's arm with the other. He kept his head down, and Yang Zhao couldn't tell what he was looking at. Chen Mingsheng spoke softly, "Perhaps I shouldn't go up with you." The hand Chen Mingsheng was using to grip the stair railing tightened slightly. His voice was low. "Your brother. Your brother doesn't seem to like me, does he?" Yang Zhao said, "He doesn't like anyone." Chen Mingsheng turned to look at Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao's expression didn't change throughout. Silence. Yang Zhao quietly waited for his decision. Chen Mingsheng had a feeling that whatever he said, Yang Zhao would agree. Chen Mingsheng lowered his head again. "Let's go." Yang Zhao assisted him as they continued upstairs. They finally reached the 3rd floor, where each classroom was brightly lit. The doors to some of the classrooms were open, and inside were students engrossed in their studies. She arrived at the innermost class. The door plate read 3rd year, class 9. Yang Zhao knocked lightly on the door. The students who were studying all uniformly looked up at the sound, like a flock of startled flamingos. Their homeroom teacher was sitting at a small desk in the front. Upon hearing the knock, she turned and saw Yang Zhao, understanding the situation. She then turned back and called towards a certain direction in the classroom. "Liu Yuan, Zhu Jia, Yang Jinchen, the 3 of you come here." 3 boys stood up from the back of the classroom and walked out. "The rest of you, study well," Teacher Sun instructed. Most of the students went back to their studies, but a few were still sneakily looking towards the door. Chen Mingsheng regretted not wearing his prosthetics, and he moved a step to the side, leaning on his crutch. Teacher Sun walked out with the 3 boys. Yang Zhao noticed Liu Yuan's left cheek was swollen and the corner of his mouth was also torn. She glanced at Yang Jinchen, noticing that he was frowning and staring at Chen Mingsheng. "Come here, parents." Teacher Sun's expression was very serious. After stepping out of the room and seeing Chen Mingsheng, she hesitated for a moment, then turned to Yang Zhao and asked, "Who is this?" Yang Zhao replied, "He came with us." Out of the corner of her eye, Yang Zhao noticed that Yang Jinshen's expression had clearly changed. Teacher Sun led them all to the other side of the corridor where there were 3 teachers' offices. She took them into a small room next to the office. She pushed the door open. The room was very small. In the center was a square tea table, with 2 long sofas on either side. It seemed this room was specifically designated for conversations. On one side of the tea table already sat two women. When they saw the others enter, they glanced over. Yang Zhao sized them up. Both women appeared to be in their 40s. One was wearing a gray patterned outfit and the other was dressed in a one-piece dress with two handbags on the couch. When the two women saw Teacher Sun, they stood up, but on seeing Yang Zhao behind her, their faces became somewhat unpleasant. "Here, Yang Jinshan's guardian, please sit here." Teacher Sun pointed to the other side of the sofa. Yang Zhao looked back at Chen Mingsheng, who was at the back, and heard him say softly, "I'll wait outside for you." Just as Yang Zhao was about to say something, Yang Jinshan spoke up first. "Sis, you sit first." He turned his head to look at Chen Mingsheng and said, "Sorry, could you please step aside?" Yang Zhao furrowed her brow, but then saw Chen Mingsheng shake his head at her as he leaned on his crutch and exited the room. The two women on the couch eyed Chen Mingsheng, exchanged a glance, and sat down again. On the two long sofas sat Liu Yuan and Zhu Jia's parents on one side, with Yang Zhao and Teacher Sun on the other. The three children stood in a line in front of the tea table. Teacher Sun was the first to speak. Everyone probably knows about what happened today. The main reason for calling the parents here is to take this incident seriously. Teacher Sun adjusted her glasses and continued, "As you all know, we are now in our third year of high school, which is a crucial time. The school is bearing down hard on studies, and with this incident occurring, the school leaders take it very seriously. The biggest relief today is that it didn't result in any major impact." At this point, she turned her head and said to the three children, "Come on, join in, let's hear it from you guys about how it happened." The three children kept their heads down. None of them said a word. Yang Zhao glanced at Yang Jinshan. He was standing with his hands behind his back, appearing uninjured. Teacher Sun said, "What's the matter? You all were quite aggressive when the fight broke out. How come you are all so quiet now? Who's going to step up and talk?" At this time, a parent sitting across the couch spoke up. The one who started the fight should speak up. Yang Zhao glanced over. That parent didn't look at her. Her gaze was locked on Yang Jinshan. Yang Jinshan looked up and gave a glance to Yang Zhao. Yang Zhao said in a flat tone, "Go ahead." Yang Jinshan was still looking at Yang Zhao, as if he was only explaining to her. He spoke, "When school ended, Liu Yuan came to find me, said he wanted to go out and play and not attend the evening self-study. I didn't agree." Liu Yuan sneered, glancing at Yang Jinshan. "Oh, you're such a good student." Liu Yuan, it seemed that the woman in the dress was Liu Yuan's mother. She scolded Liu Yuan, then turned towards Yang Jinshan. "Whether or not our Yuanzi asked you to come along, that's another matter, but why did you start a fight? Look at him, you beat him up pretty bad." Zhu Jia's mother also nodded in agreement. "Exactly, we can't let it go like this. The children are young, and parents need to educate them properly." While saying this, she glanced at Yang Zhao. "You should provide some guidance as well." Yang Zhao kept her eyes on Yang Jinshan, oblivious to how much of the parents' words she listened to. She asked Yang Jinshan, "Who started it?" Yang Jinshan said, "Liu Yuan." "What do you mean?" Liu Yuan's parent heard this and wasn't happy at all. He stood up, pointing at Yang Jinshan, raising his voice. "You hit Yuanzi and now you're biting back. Are you going to bully people now?" Teacher Sun quickly stood up and said, "Zhou Hui, let's calm down first." The woman named Zhou Hui turned around and said to Teacher Sun, "Yan Hua, you have to handle this matter properly. A student who hits people must be punished." Liu Yuan's mother, who was working at the experimental middle school and was a teacher in the academic affairs office, also knew Sun Yan Hua. Teacher Sun knew Zhou Hui's temper and comforted her by saying, "Let's calm down, let's sit down and talk." Yang Zhao, who was sitting all this while, was looking at Yang Jinshan. She asked, "Little Tian, let me ask you again, who made the first move?" Yang Jinshan directly met Yang Zhao's gaze and said, "Liu Yuan." Liu Yuan gave a sideways glance, exchanged a knowing look with Zhu Jia, lifted his head and said, "Mom, he was the one who hit us first." "Did you hear that?" Zhou Hui and Zhu Jia's parents both stood up, pointing at Yang Jinshan and said, "Such a young age, not only beating people, but also lying. I'm telling you, you're going to be punished for sure." And this parent here. Zhou Hui stared at Yang Zhao and said, "Look at her attitude. See what she did to our child's face." Yang Zhao's eyes were still on Yang Jinshan. Her eyes seemed a little strange to others, not like anger, not like care, not like worry. That's a kind of objective, even cold scrutiny. In the end, as if she had made some judgment, she stood up and said to Yang Jinshan, "Sister believes you." Zhou Hui squinted her eyes, looked at Liu Yuan and asked, "Yuanzi, did he beat you?" Liu Yuan and Zhu said together, "He started it." Zhou Hua looked at Yang Zhao and said, "Everyone says your child started it. What are you still arguing about?" It seemed that teacher's son couldn't bear to watch it. She stood up and said, "Zhou Hui, calm down, let's not be too stiff." Zhou Hui turned around, glared at her, and said, "Could it not be stiff if she didn't talk that way?" Yang Zhao finally turned her head and looked at her, asking, "What did I say?" Seeing her respond, Zhou Hui immediately became even more energetic. "What did you say? What did you say? I ask you what you said. You ask your child that kind of question after he beats someone. Instead of scolding or teaching him, you indulge him. How do you educate your child?" Yang Zhao said, "How do you want me to educate?" Zhou Hui, who was tall and sturdy, looked at Yang Zhao and said, "Apart from other things, you have to pay the medical bills. Yuanzi's face is swollen like that. I have to take him to the hospital for a checkup. You have to be responsible if there's any problem." Yang Zhao thought for a while and said, "You can get him checked, and I can pay for the medical bills." Hearing this, Zhou Hui seemed to cool down a bit. She glanced at Yang Zhao faintly. Yang Zhao stood up and walked over to Yang Jinshan's side, asking him, "Where did you guys fight?" Yang Jinshan whispered, "Behind the canteen." Yang Zhao said, "Take me there." With this, everyone in the room was stunned. Teacher Sun asked Yang Zhao, parent of Yang Jinshan, "Where are you going?" Yang Zhao replied, "Teacher Sun, I want to check out the place where the fight happened." Upon hearing this, Zhou Hui was displeased and retorted, "What are you up to? Going behind the dining hall at this hour?" Yang Zhao picked up her handbag, looked at Zhou Hui and said, 10 years ago, I also graduated from this high school. I attended their 60th anniversary 2 years ago." No one understood why she mentioned this, except for Teacher Sun, who got the idea. "Ah, really? What a coincidence, we are alumni." Yang Zhao continued, "If I remember correctly, there were surveillance cameras near the school's perimeter wall at that time." The people in the room finally understood. Zhou Hui's face changed instantly, and her emotions were a bit stirred up. "What do you mean? What are you implying? Are you saying that we are all lying to you?" Yang Zhao looked at her. "Whether it's deception or not, we would find out soon." She turned to Yang Jinshan and said, "Let's go." Yang Jinshan nodded hard, "All right." Yang Jinshan worried throughout the night. The scene of Yang Zhao sleeping on his test paper had been haunting his mind constantly, so when Liu Yuan sought his help, he refused and ended up getting into a fight. He was worried that Yang Zhao would be angry at him, but she didn't seem upset. Just now, when it was just him and his sister, it felt like they were at a disadvantage in the room. He hated hearing that woman talking about Yang Zhao and almost wanted to slap her, but when he saw the trusting gaze from Yang Zhao, he felt a surge of excitement deep down. Yang Jinshan led Yang Zhao out first. Zhou Hua looked down and whispered to Liu Yuan, "Don't be afraid, Yuanzi, I'll make sure he gets punished." Liu Yuan nodded. He and Zhu exchanged glances, raising an eyebrow, and laughed. Liu Yuan, the last one to leave, heard a low voice when he was about to leave the building. "Hey kid." Liu Yuan turned around to see Chen Mingsheng leaning against the wall. Chen Mingsheng had a cigarette in his hand. He knew it was school, so he didn't light it up. He was rolling the cigarette between his fingers. Liu Yuan recognized him. His distinct leg was too obvious. "Is it you?" asked Liu Yuan. Chen Mingsheng looked up at Liu Yuan. The chill in his black eyes sent a shiver down his spine. "Who are you? What do you want?" "Nothing," Chen Mingsheng said lightly. "I just wanted to remind you of something. The place where Yang Jinshan fought indeed has surveillance." Yang Zhao asked Teacher Sun, "Can we make a trip to the security room?" Zhou Hui retorted, "It's so late already. What are you dragging us all around for?" Yang Zhao glanced at her. "If you don't want to come with us, feel free to wait in the classroom." Zhou Hui glared at her, ready to lose her temper when Teacher Sun hurriedly intervened. "Let's do this, Yang Zhao's parent. We have never encountered this situation before where someone wanted to check the security footage. How about we have a calm discussion first to see if there are any possible solutions?" "What solution?" Zhou Hui looked at Sun. "Yanhua, you've seen Liu Yuan's swollen face. It's a serious matter and has to be dealt with seriously." She glared at Yang Zhao. "It's not that I'm not reasonable. As a parent, you have no remorse." Yang Zhao looked at Zhou Hui's angry eyes, calmly said, "Firstly, the reason I want to check the footage is to determine who started the fight. If it's Jinshan, I'll accept your request. But if it's not, then you'd have to consider mine. Secondly, there seems to be a misunderstanding." Yang Zhao glanced at Yang Jinshan, continued with a fight. Who gets injured isn't determined by who struck first. "Yang Zhao, you spoke in a flat tone, and it took Zhou Hui a moment to understand and became so angry that she nearly rolled her eyes. You. Zhou Hui pointed at Yang Zhaoyu and Yang Jinchen alternately, speechless. Finally, she pressed her temples tremblingly and called to teacher Sun, Yanhua, say something. I've been working at this near high school for so many years, and I've never seen such shameless parents. Yang Jinchen, who was sulking on the side, almost laughed out loud when he heard Yang Zhaoyu's words and saw Zhou Hui's angry look. Just then, Liu Yuan arrived. Everyone was arguing just now, and no one noticed that someone was missing. As soon as Liu Yuan arrived, Zhou Hui immediately went over and grabbed his arm and said, Yuanzi, tell me, was it him who hit you? Your mother will stand up for you. We're not afraid of being bullied. Liu Yuan bowed his head, and it was only after Zhou Hui asked him several times that he finally said quietly, Mom, we hit first. Everyone present was stunned by these words, including Yang Zhaoyu. Zhou Hui seemed to not understand. What did you say, Yuanzi? Who attacked first? Liu Yuan, seemingly annoyed, broke free from Zhou Hui's hand. I did. I attacked him first. Don't you understand? Zhou Hui was stunned by the shake of his arm, stomping her feet cruelly under the street lamp. How did I raise such a child? Teacher Sun couldn't stand the farce any longer. She walked over, looked at Liu Yuan seriously and said, Liu Yuan, I'll ask you one last time, were you the one who hit first? Zhu Jie had been staring at him all the time, but Liu Yuan just nodded. I initiated the attack. Teacher Sun nodded and said, then the matter is basically like this. Zhou Hui. She stopped Zhou Hui, who turned her head, staring at Teacher Sun, Yanhua. So my son was beaten in vain. Even in self-defense, he shouldn't be beaten like this, right? Teacher Sun was a bit annoyed. This Zhou Hui was not a full-time teacher in the school, just an administrative staff. Her husband died in a car accident a few years ago, and her colleagues took more care of her. But Zhou Hui's temperament was notoriously bad, especially for her son. No one else could say much. If they said more, she would cry, saying how pitiful her child was and how hard her life was. Stop talking. Liu Yuan frowned at Zhou Hui. I also threatened him with a knife. And I wanted his money. Anyway, it's my responsibility. Zhou Hui looked at Liu Yuan incredulously. Yuanzi, what did you say? Liu Yuan kicked a stone on the ground and said, What did I say? Can't you hear? Yang Zhaoyu squinted her eyes. You threatened Yang Jinchen with a knife. Liu Yuan turned his head. Yang Zhaoyu was also there that evening. He immediately turned his head back and nodded vaguely. Yang Zhaoyu said, That's a pity. She took out her mobile phone from her bag. Everyone looked at her and was taken aback. Teacher Sun reacted first and quickly held Yang Zhaoyu. Madame Yang, what are you going to do? Looking at her, Yang Zhaoyu said calmly, Call the police. Upon hearing this, Zhou Hui was immediately frightened. What are you reporting to the police? Is it worth the children's fuss? Yang Zhaoyu said, Whether it's worth it is my business. Yang Zhaoyu looked at Zhou Hui, her phone twirling between her slender fingers. Zhou Hui had to lower her head and said, Liu Yuan is still young and ignorant. Can you forgive him once? Yang Zhaoyu said nothing, her phone twirled once more in her hand. Zhou Hui had red eyes, not knowing whether she was sad or angry. Yuanzi, come here. She pulled Liu Yuan's clothes and pulled him over. Where did you get the knife? How did you mess up? Don't touch me. Liu Yuan shook her off again and stood aside with his hands in his pockets. Zhou Hui couldn't care less this time and started crying. Zhu Jie's mother quickly came over to comfort her. It wasn't until after 10 o'clock that evening that all the fuss was sorted out. In the end, Yang Zhaoyu didn't call the police and even compensated Zhou Hui 2,000 yuan. As they were leaving, Yang Zhaoyu said to Yang Jinchen, I didn't pursue it because I didn't want a stain on your record. You're about to take the college entrance examination, and this information will follow you for life. Why did we give him money? Yang Jinchen asked. Yang Zhaoyu said, the money was given because you really injured someone. Yang Jinchen did not say a word. Yang Zhao suddenly stopped walking. Yang Jinchen quickly followed, stopped as well. Yang Zhao turned her head to him, but remember, Zhao Ocean, in the future, if you face such a situation again, you should prioritize your safety over anything else. Yang Jinchen, with his backpack on, nodded. Walking behind Yang Zhao and just before exiting the school gate, he blurted out, Sis, I will study hard. Yang Zhao merely responded lightly, Good. The school gates were empty as it was already after school hours. Yang Jinchen spotted Chen Mingsheng, who was smoking next to Yang Zhao's car. He visibly frowned. Yang Zhao walked over, asking Chen Mingsheng, "You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you?" Chen Mingsheng shook his head. "Not long." Yang Zhao glanced at Yang Jinshan and said, "Zhao Ocean, get in the car." As Yang Jinshan took the back seat, Yang Zhao addressed Chen Mingsheng, "I'll drop you off first." "No, you take your brother home first. I can take the bus back," Chen Mingsheng replied. To which Yang Zhao questioned, "Aren't the buses finished for the day?" Chen Mingsheng assured, "No, there are 2 more." Yang Zhao, lowering her gaze, did not reply. From the car window, Yang Jinshan could clearly see the figures of Yang Zhao and Chen Mingsheng. "Call me after you get off work tomorrow," Yang Zhao said softly. "All right," replied Chen Mingsheng. Yang Zhao looked up, taking a quick glance at Chen Mingsheng, then lowered her gaze again. Chen Mingsheng chuckled and with the support of his crutches, came up to Yang Zhao and said in a low voice, "Come to my place tomorrow night." His tone was casual yet playful. Listening to it made Yang Zhao chuckle, and pushing Chen Mingsheng away, she smiled lightly and got into the car. Chen Mingsheng wasn't bothered about the lack of a response. He stepped back, watching Yang Zhao drive away. The car ride back home was quiet. Half an hour into the ride, Yang Jinshan suddenly asked, "Sis, why is that driver always looking for you?" Yang Zhao replied, "His name is Chen Mingsheng. What does he want from you?" Yang Jinshan questioned further. "That's none of your business," responded Yang Zhao curtly. Yang Jinshan fell silent. Through the rear-view mirror, Yang Zhao glanced at him, asking, "Did you bring back your test papers today?" Yang Jinshan nodded. "Yes," Yang Zhao just responded with him, and did not initiate further conversation. After a while, the car arrived at Huiken Jinzuo. Yang Zhao swiped her card to enter the complex when Yang Jinshan said, "You shouldn't be always together with him." Yang Zhao didn't respond, merely turned off the engine and said, "Let's go." Yang Jinshan picked up his backpack and followed her. Entering the house, he said to Yang Zhao, "Sis, I'm hungry." Yang Zhao paused and put her coat back on. "What do you want to eat?" "I can get it for you," Yang Jinshan replied. "Anything is fine, sweet and sour pork ribs like last time." Yang Zhao paused again. "I didn't buy pork ribs." "If you want sweet and sour pork ribs, I can place an order for delivery." "No, then never mind." Yang Jinshan walked into the washroom, came out shortly with a pile of books from his backpack. Yang Zhao walked over. "Give me today's test." Yang Jinshan handed her a few books. Yang Zhao said, "You go and take a bath. Go to bed early." She picked up the test papers and headed towards the study. Watching her retreating figure, Yang Jinshan told her, "Sis, you should also go to bed early." That day, Yang Zhao's marking of papers went unexpectedly smooth. She set the corrected papers aside and glanced at the clock. It was midnight. Yang Zhao picked up her phone and sent a text to Chen Mingsheng. "Chen Mingsheng, this is Yang Zhao." A quick response came. "Are you asleep? What do you think?" Holding her phone, Yang Zhao smiled and dialed his number. "Hello?" Chen Mingsheng's voice was softly lazy. Yang Zhao said, "Are you asleep or not?" "Not. What about you?" "I slept too much during the day. Now I can't fall asleep." "Me neither." As Yang Zhao turned around, she asked, "Are you working tomorrow during the day or at night?" Chen Mingsheng said, "Daytime." Yang Zhao said, "You should rest early then. I'm hanging up." Yang Zhao? Chen Mingsheng said, "A friend called me when I got back. He may come over tomorrow night." Yang Zhao paused and asked, "A friend? They might come over to play cards." "So I can't come?" Chen Mingsheng hesitated for a moment and said, "You can, but it might be a bit noisy." "That's fine." Chen Mingsheng said, "Then come over. What do you want to eat? I'll cook dinner tomorrow night." Yang Zhao said, "Sweet and sour pork ribs." Chen Mingsheng laughed on the other end of the phone and said, "Okay." Yang Zhao said, "See you tomorrow then." The next day, when Yang Zhao took her brother Yang Jinshan to school, he surprisingly told her, "Sis, I'm staying at school tonight." Yang Zhao's initial reaction was that he was skipping school again, and she said, "No." Yang Jinshan said, "Today is Saturday, there's math tutoring after school." Yang Zhao didn't believe him at all. "No." Disgruntled, Yang Jinshan pursed his lips and sat quietly in the back seat. Looking at him in the rear-view mirror, Yang Zhao noticed a hint of sadness on Yang Jinshan's face. She said, "There's no self-study session tonight, right? You get out at 5:30. Yang Jinshan grunted in recognition. Yang Zhao said, "I have something tonight. After I pick you up from school, you will study on your own at home." Frowning, Yang Jinshan said, "If you have something to do, just let me stay at school to attend the tutoring." Yang Zhao didn't say anything. The car drove steady on the road. A while later, Yang Zhao said, "Little Tian, I don't trust you right now." Yang Jinchen stared at the fleeting road signs outside the window, quietly processing her words. "There's another math quiz next Monday," Yang Zhao continued. "If you pass this test, I will take your advice on attendance of self-study or tutoring sessions. Until then, you will listen to me." Yang Jinchen looked up. "Deal?" Yang Zhao simply said, "Deal." The car stopped in front of the school, and Yang Jinchen got out, saying to Yang Zhao before he left, "Watch me, I'll definitely pass this time." He then strode off towards the campus with his backpack. Yang Zhao watched his retreating figure from the car. Among all boys of his age, Yang Jinchen was considered tall, but perhaps due to his youth, he still appeared somewhat thin. There was always a process of growing up for men, thought Yang Zhao. It might not necessarily be triggered by something specific. Maybe it's a change in mentality, maybe it's an encounter. Either way, boys eventually grew into men. After dropping off Yang Jinchen, Yang Zhao returned home to read. She had an arrangement with Chen Mingsheng at 7 o'clock in the evening. By then she would bring some food with her. She received a call at noon. It was from Zumi. "Zhao. "What's up?" Yang Zhao said, adding, "I am on vacation now," before Zumi could speak another word. Zumi was clearly taken aback, then said, Zhao, "It's an emergency." Yang Zhao chuckled and said, "Your Mandarin is improving." "Oh, it's my roots, Zhao. There's so much about China that attracts me." Yang Zhao went to the refrigerator, took out a bottle of mineral water. "Are you talking about your antiques?" "Not just that." Zumi's tone was quite relaxed. Yang Zhao could even imagine his excited expression. "And people," he added. Yang Zhao took a sip of water and said, "Just spit it out." Zumi sighed and said, Zhao, you're too cold." "I'll remind you again." Yang Zhao put the mineral water on the table, sat the couch and said, "I'm not even a quarter into my vacation. I won't accept any jobs." Zumi kept silent for a while, then said, "Why do you think I definitely want to discuss work with you?" Yang Zhao asked, "Then what?" When Zumi spoke again, his tone was a bit lighter. Zhao, I just wanted to invite you for a meal." Yang Zhao raised her eyebrows. "A meal?" "I'm returning to my home country the day after tomorrow," Zumi said. Yang Zhao said, "Why are you coming here so frequently lately?" "Of course, there are matters to be taken care of." Yang Zhao said, "I can have a meal with you. Contact me when you're here." "Okay," Zumi said softly. "I'll meet you the day after tomorrow." After the call, Yang Zhao laid back on the couch. She sat for a while before returning to the study. After rushing for several days, she had basically understood Yang Jinchen's courses, and the future work would be a little easier. Last night, while she was grading papers, Yang Jinchen sneaked out of the room. It was quiet at night, and Yang Zhao was a sensitive person, so when she heard the doorknob being slowly turned, she said, "Zhao Ocean, come in." The movement at the doorknob stopped abruptly before the door was slowly pushed open. Yang Jinchen in his pajamas came in. "Sis, you're still awake." Yang Zhao was sitting at the desk facing the door. She looked at Yang Jinchen and asked, "What's up? Are you hungry?" Yang Jinchen shook his head. "No." He saw a pen in Yang Zhao's hand, came over to take a look, and then said in surprise, "Sis, this is a new test paper." Yang Zhao didn't even lower her head. "Yep, I bought it, just to familiarize myself with the questions." Yang Jinchen looked at her and chuckled. "Did you check your answers? How many points did you get?" Yang Zhao was slightly taken aback, not by his words, but by his smile. As far as she could remember, whenever he faced her, Yang Jinchen was always with his head down, as if he was always apologizing. His smile was bright, and Yang Zhao liked it. "What's wrong? Did you get a lot of questions wrong?" Seeing Yang Zhao not responding, Yang Jinchen jokingly asked. Yang Zhao kept looking at him, and then she spread out the test paper she had in her hand in front of him. Then Yang Jinchen saw red marks all over the paper. With courage, he reached out his hand, took the exam papers, and started from the first page. Yang Zhao had done most of it, with pitifully few errors. There were some conceptual errors in the early pages, and there were paragraphs of correction notes next to each cross. Later on, Yang Zhao seemed to have grasped the problem-solving approach, not even bothering to write the process, directly writing formulas and answers in a straightforward and clear manner. This workbook was as clean and neat as if the answers had been copied directly. Yang Jinchen looked at Yang Zhao with wide eyes. "Sis, did you do all this?" Yang Zhao casually nodded in response. Yang Jinchen took a deep breath and said, "Sis, you are a top student." How many points did you get in the college entrance examination? Yang Zhao replied, the situation of my college entrance examination year was different from now. I ranked 9th in the city. Yang Zhao asked Yang Jinchen, what are you doing out so late? Yang Jinchen made a funny face, going to the bathroom. Yang Zhao said, go back to sleep. Got it. Yang Jinchen put down the exam papers and went back to his room to rest. Reflecting on the situation last night, Yang Zhao felt quite peculiar. She had a vague feeling that her younger brother seemed a bit different from before. She glanced at the clock. It was already in the afternoon. She ordered some takeout, ate her meal, and prepared to pick up Yang Jinchen from school. When she saw Yang Jinchen at the school gate, Yang Zhao noticed that his complexion looked a bit off. Once in the car, she asked, is anything wrong today? Yang Jinchen didn't say anything. Yang Zhao didn't start the car, but turned around to look at Yang Jinchen. Jinchen, I'm okay, Yang Jinchen said quietly. Seeing that she couldn't get anything out of him, Yang Zhao turned back and drove home. Yang Jinchen, sitting in the back seat, had been frowning all the way. Just after school, his classmates who walked with him inadvertently asked who the woman who came to school yesterday was. Yang Jinchen said it was his sister, and they asked and who the man was. Yang Jinchen didn't answer, and they said, he came to school with your sister. Is he her boyfriend? I don't think so. I don't know. Yang Jinchen didn't want to mention Chen Mingsheng, so he perfunctorily said. His classmates asked him, does your sister also have physical inconvenience? What? His classmate whispered, is your sister also disabled? Finally understanding, Yang Jinchen cursed, you're the one who's disabled. Ever since seeing Yang Zhao, Yang Jinchen had been holding back a fury. When he got home, Yang Zhao had already ordered takeout in advance. Sitting at the table eating, he saw Yang Zhao going into the bedroom. After a while, she came out again in a new outfit, and Yang Jinchen noticed that she had lightly applied makeup on her face. The living room lamp was warm orange-yellow. Yang Zhao was putting on shoes at the door. Her hair was simply pinned up, and a simple hairpin adorned with jade was nestled amidst her black locks. Reflecting the soft wall light, it gave off a quiet and indifferent gentleness. Yang Jinchen asked, sis, where are you going? Yang Zhao replied, I have something to do tonight and won't be back. Tomorrow is Sunday, you're off. I've sorted out the problems you need to do on the table in your room. I'll be back before noon. Yang Jinchen, holding his chopsticks, asked, are you going to meet that driver? The hand Yang Zhao was using to open the door paused, and then she said, his name is Chen Mingsheng. Yang Jinchen asked, what are you seeing him for? Yang Zhao said, it's none of your business. Eat your food, I'm leaving. Yang Zhao opened the door. Yang Jinchen, thinking about what his classmates had said in the evening, suddenly stood up from the seat and shouted, sis. Yang Zhao turned around. Yang Jinchen looked at her and said, next month's mock exam, if I can improve my class ranking by more than 50 places, can you break off with that driver? Looking at an excited Yang Jinchen, Yang Zhao suddenly felt like laughing. And she did indeed laugh out loud. Zhao Tian, I'm not joking with you, Yang Jintian said loudly. Yang Zhao looked at his still somewhat childlike face and smiled faintly. You pass the exam first, then we have the premise to negotiate. Yang Jintian nodded. Okay, I'll pass the exam. Yang Zhao watched as Yang Jintian viciously swallowed a couple of mouthfuls of rice, then rushed into the room. The door was slammed shut and her smile gradually faded. During her descent down the stairs, Yang Zhao pulled out a cigarette. After getting into the car, she checked the time and realized she was running late according to her plan. She called Chen Mingsheng. Hello? Chen Mingsheng, I might be a little late. Yang Zhao heard the sound of Mayong tiles clattering over the phone. Chen Mingsheng asked, what happened? Yang Zhao said, nothing much. My younger brother had something just now. I was delayed for a while. Chen Mingsheng said, I'll pick you up. No need. After hanging up the phone, she started driving towards Chen Mingsheng's house. During the drive, her mind seemed rather empty, as if she was thinking about many things but also nothing at all. By the time she arrived at Chen Mingsheng's house, it was already past 7 in the evening. Yang Zhao parked her car downstairs and took her bag to go upstairs. Standing at the door of Chen Mingsheng's home, Yang Zhao could clearly hear the sound of Mayong being played inside. His house was small in size, and the only place where a Mayong table could fit was probably just inside the entrance. Yang Zhao knocked on the door and quickly there was a response from inside. Who is it? Yang Zhao recognized that it was not Chen Mingsheng's voice. The door was opened, and Yang Zhao saw the man who opened the door sitting at the side of the mahjong table near the door. He didn't even stand up, just swung his arm back and opened the door. When Yang Zhao saw him, he was half suspended in mid-air, craning his neck and staring at her with his big eyes. After less than a second of eye contact, the man who had opened the door twists his body and stands up from his seat with some awkwardness. He took the cigarette out of his mouth, looked at Yang Zhao and said, "Sister-in-law, right?" He was not too tall or too short, with a well-proportioned body. He wore a casual shirt with loose jeans, a buzz haircut, round face, and a smiley expression. Yang Zhao asked with an emotionless face, "Is Chen Mingsheng home?" Yes, definitely." He turned and shouted into the room, "Brother Sheng, your sister-in-law is here." He gave way to Yang Zhao, and she finally saw the inside of the room. Just as she had imagined, the mahjong table was right in the center of the room, with hardly any extra space to put one's foot down. There were 3 other people at the table, 2 men and a woman, all staring at her. Among the 2 men, there was one who was younger. Yang Zhao found him familiar. It wasn't until he frowned slightly that she remembered this young man was a police officer from Lincoln Police Station, apparently called Zhao Song. The other man looked a bit older, and the girl seemed to be just over 20, the youngest of the group. Chen Mingsheng came out quickly. Yang Zhao noticed he came out of the kitchen because he was leaning on a crutch, and one hand was holding a rice scoop. Yang Zhao said, "Chen Mingsheng, I'm sorry I'm late." Chen Mingsheng was as usual in his signature black vest. He looked at Yang Zhao and said, "Come in first." The room was truly crowded with people. Yang Zhao finally found a small open space to step in and stood next to Chen Mingsheng. The man who had opened the door earlier looked at Chen Mingsheng with a cheeky expression and said, "Brother Sheng, introduce us." Yang Zhao had the feeling that Chen Mingsheng's ears were turning slightly red at the young man's teasing. However, his face remained calm. He pointed at the young man and said to Yang Zhao, "His name is Wen Lei, you can call him Zhao Wen. He used to be my colleague." Wen Lei immediately greeted with a smile, "Hello, sister-in-law." Seeing his enthusiastic expression, Yang Zhao hesitated for a moment, gave a faint smile back and said, "Hello." Chen Mingsheng looked at the older man, then continued introducing to Yang Zhao, "This is Lao Wang, also a former colleague of mine." Yang Zhao, "Hello." Lao Wang put down his cigarette, gestured at Yang Zhao, hello." Chen Mingsheng pointed at the remaining young man and said, "He is Song Hui, my friend." He glanced at Yang Zhao, and Yang Zhao said, "I've met him at Lincoln Police Station." Song Hui seemed to remember what occurred back then, so he stood up, extended his hand and said, "I was not well behaved back then." Yang Zhao shook his hand and replied, "It's okay." Finally, Chen Mingsheng looked at the young girl and said, "Her name is Zhang Qing, Song Hui's girlfriend." Zhang Qing was petite and appeared somewhat timid. She had a shy smile. She looked at Yang Zhao, nodded lightly, and said, "Hello, sister-in-law." Yang Zhao turned her head towards Chen Mingsheng. Chen Mingsheng met her gaze for 3 seconds before turning away, speaking to the people at the mahjong table. "This is Yang Zhao," and he glanced at Yang Zhao again. She was looking at him without expression. Chen Mingsheng added, "Not yet. A sister-in-law." Yang Zhao turned her head towards the others in the room and said, "Just call me Yang Zhao." Wen Lei made a sound of comprehension and said to Chen Mingsheng, "Brother Sheng, you need to work harder. Look, your sister-in-law doesn't recognize you." Chen Mingsheng just smiled without saying anything. Wen Lei made a funny face, rolling his eyes several times. Chen Mingsheng said to Yang Zhao, "I'm going to cook now." Just as Yang Zhao was about to say she would go with him, Wen Lei leaned in and pulled Yang Zhao over. "Come here, please." He led Yang Zhao to his seat, then knocked over the mahjong tiles on the table and said, "Start over. Start a new round." Zhang Qing subtly pursed her lips in disappointment. She had been on the verge of winning. Yang Zhao looked towards Chen Mingsheng, who asked, "Do you know how to play mahjong?" Yang Zhao thought for a moment, then said, "Yes." Chen Mingsheng replied, "Then you can play with them for a while. The kitchen is too crowded." Yang Zhao nodded. Wen Lei stood by the mahjong table. A new round was starting. As the tiles are being drawn, Wen Lei explained the rules to Yang Zhao. He said, "Sister-in-law, you have to cross before you open the door." Yang Zhao was puzzled. What does that mean? Wen Lei looked at Yang Zhao, winked and said, "It just means you have to pong before qi." Yang Zhao nodded, "I see." Wen Lei looked at Yang Zhao's profile and found it amusing. In the first round, everyone let Yang Zhao be the dealer. Yang Zhao threw the dice and got a 6. Wen Lei clapped his hands and shouted, "Great luck!" Compared to the others at the table, Yang Zhao was embarrassingly slow at organizing her tiles. The whole table was waiting dryly for the dealer to play. Yang Zhao hesitated, then finally played a 1 of circles. Wen Lei advised her, "Sister-in-law, don't play the 9 tiles at the beginning." Yang Zhao asked, "Really?" Song Hui, who was Yang Zhao's next player, played a 2 of bamboos, and Zhang King said, "Pong." She glanced in Yang Zhao's direction and played a 1 of circles. A few rounds later, only Yang Zhao had not opened her door yet. When Lei walked around for a bit, old Wang watched him with amusement without saying anything, while Zhang King slightly leaned over, blocking her tiles. Seeing this, Song Hui remarked, "Look at you, Wen Lei, peeking everyone's hand. How can others play?" Growling, Wen Lei dragged a stool over and sat next to Yang Zhao. Unsurprisingly, Yang Zhao lost the first round to Song Hui. After calculating, Song Hui said, 6 points. Yang Zhao did not understand. Wen Lei whispered, "Sister-in-law, that's 64. Yang Zhao turned to get her purse, but Wen Lei quickly pulled her back. No, it's not money, it's for the cards." There was a mahjong mat on the table, with a small pocket at each corner. When Wen Lei pulled it open, Yang Zhao discovered a deck of playing cards inside. Wen Lei helped her pull out a few cards and threw them at Song Hui. "A lousy kid, you dare to win against sister-in-law. You have a death wish." Zhang King said from the side, "No, we're just playing." She glanced at Song Hui, who raised an eyebrow. Yang Zhao said to Wen Lei, "It's fine. Let's play fair." Yes, Zhang King mumbled. "Look at sister-in-law, you know you are cheating." Wen Lei begged for mercy. All right. I won't say it anymore, all right?" Wen Lei watched the game, round after round. His face in the smoke was somewhat unsightly. Yang Zhao didn't understand, but he did. After completing a round, Wen Lei stood up and said to Song Hui, "Let's go, I need to use the restroom." Song Hui replied, "I don't need to go." Wen Lei made a clicking sound and said, "Just accompany me." Zhang King commented, "You need someone to accompany you to the restroom." Wen Lei cheerfully replied, "I'm afraid of the dark." Song Hui rolled his eyes, stood up and told Zhang King, "Help me sort my tiles." "Okay." Wen Lei closed the bathroom door and lowered his voice to Song Hui, "What are you two doing?" Song Hui played dumb and went over to the sink to wash his hands. "Doing what?" Wen Lei leaned against the door and said, "Playing couples mahjong." Song Hui replied, "Nonsense." Wen Lei said, "She doesn't know how to play, and you guys are deliberately holding big cards waiting for her to pong. Why are you not giving brother Sheng face?" Song Hui finished washing his hands, rinsed them, and turned to Wen Lei. "Have you met her before?" Wen Lei, "No, it's my first time." "What's up?" Song Hui said, "She swindled brother Sheng out of 5,000 yuan, did you know that?" Wen Lei was startled. "What?" Song Hui recounted what happened at the police station, leaving Wen Lei frowning. Song Hui said, "I don't know why brother Sheng wanted to find her, but this woman is really good at pretending. I just can't stand her." Wen Lei shot him a glance. "Watch your mouth." Song Hui snorted. At this moment, there was a light knock on the bathroom door, and Zhang King's voice came in. "Are you guys not done yet? What's going on?" Wen Lei grabbed the doorknob, finally said to Song Hui, "Who brother Sheng wants to be with is his own business. Since he chose this woman, then she is my sister-in-law. You'd better give me and brother Sheng some respect." After saying that, he opened the door, where Zhang King was outside with a worried expression on her face. Wen Lei shrugged, giving her a small smile before moving past her. Zhang King hurriedly squeezed into the bathroom, closing the door behind her. "What's happening? Did you guys fight?" Song Hui, his face slightly unfriendly, replied, "No." Zhang King asked, "Did we win too much?" Song Hui reached out to pat Zhang King's head. "No, it's nothing." Zhang King pouted and whispered, "Why do they let her win all the time? I'm also a woman, but they never let me win." Song Hui pinched her nose. "You're very capable, a master's graduate. We don't need their sympathy." Zhang King then gleefully pulled on Song Hui's arm. "Should I win her in the next few rounds?" "But we have already won 200 from her. Is it too much?" Song Hui replied, "You play however you want, it's fine. If we win too much, we can just return some to her later." "Okay." Back at the table, Yang Zhao was scrutinizing her hand. Wen Lei felt a bit strange after hearing what Song Hui had to say. He sat back down, half a meter away from Yang Zhao. She was sitting straight, in a natural, relaxed manner. She was intently considering her tiles, seemingly focused on what to play next. She was taking the game seriously, but Wenlei felt she was serious not because she wanted to win back her losses, but just because she was focusing on the task at hand. Wenlei chuckled to himself quietly as he took a puff of his cigarette. Regardless of what Song Hui said, he found Yang Zhao to be far from obnoxious. After a while, Chen Mingsheng came over, leaning on his crutch. Wenlei quickly stood up. "Brother Sheng, is dinner ready?" Chen Mingsheng said, "The fish stew is on, we can eat in a bit." Old Wang stood up and said to Chen Mingsheng, "Mingsheng, come, have a seat and play for a bit." Chen Mingsheng asked, "Aren't you playing?" Old Wang patted his back. "I can't do it anymore. I'm old and my body hurts after sitting for a bit. I'm going to watch some TV in the room." Chen Mingsheng, leaning on his crutch, took Old Wang's position, opposite Yang Zhao. The light was behind her, making his side of the table a bit dim. The room was filled with smoke, and the ceiling light shining on the white mahjong mat was a bit dazzling. Yang Zhao looked up to see Chen Mingsheng lighting his cigarette, and suddenly gave a little laugh. Both Song Hui and Zhang Qing were intently looking at their hands. Only Wenlei saw Yang Zhao's smile. There was a tenderness in her smile that left Wenlei stunned. He thought he understood the meaning of the smile, but when he thought more about it, he felt he didn't understand anything. Yang Zhao's smile faded swiftly. By the time Chen Mingsheng finished lighting his cigarette and looked up, her gaze had already turned back to the mahjong table. "Are we continuing or starting new?" asked Chen Mingsheng. Zhang Qing quickly glanced at Song Hui, who understood and replied, "Let's continue, we've already played so many hands." Chen Mingsheng nodded. It was Yang Zhao's turn. She discarded a 3 of circles. Zhang Qing Pong, 5 of bamboo. After deliberating, Chen Mingsheng discarded a 2 of circles. "Huh?" Yang Zhao looked at her tiles and claims Pong. She picked up the 2 of circles, arranging 3 identical tiles neatly in a row. Zhang Qing gave Song Hui a quick glance, with him quietly looking at his own tiles. Yang Zhao felt that this round was a bit strange. The pace seemed noticeably slower than the previous rounds. Zhang Qing, positioned before Chen Mingsheng, could feel when Old Wang wanted to win a hand with a single suit and discarded tiles, but she became a little clueless after Chen Mingsheng took over for several rounds. Fearing she would assist Chen Mingsheng to win a round, she gave Song Hui a look, then discarded an 8 of bamboos. Song Hui pushed his tiles away. "Win, hee, my dear." But before he could finish gloating, Chen Mingsheng laid down his tiles, took a drag of his cigarette and said softly, "Sorry, I blocked it." Everyone looked over. Chen Mingsheng had won by forming the edge hand, while Song Hui had been forming a single suit and tile weight. Chen Mingsheng was the previous player, thus blocking Song Hui's win. Zhang Qing felt a sigh of relief. She was glad it was just a simple, low-value hand. Wenlei on the side almost laughed out loud. "Look at this, came for revenge, right?" Bewildered, Yang Zhao continued playing, not discerning who was good or bad in the game. But in the following rounds, Yang Zhao didn't let out any Pong again. A while later, Old Wang came out to check. Hey, how's the battle going?" As a round ended, Chen Mingsheng stood up. "I'm going to check on the fish." "You take over for me." He moved into the kitchen with his crutch. Yang Zhao turned to Wenlei and asked, "Could you help me play for a bit?" Wenlei understood. Sure, I'm on it." Yang Zhao stood up, switching places with Wenlei, then headed into the kitchen as well. Chen Mingsheng's kitchen had no door, just a curtain. Yang Zhao let the curtain down, blocking most of the view from the outside. Chen Mingsheng stood on one leg, checking on a pot of soup. Yang Zhao walked over. Without talking, she just stood there watching him. Chen Mingsheng tried to ignore her, but eventually couldn't help but chuckle. He turned to her and asked, "What are you doing?" Compared to him, Yang Zhao looked a bit serious. "Chen Mingsheng, did you just feed me in the game?" Chen Mingsheng took a soup ladle, scooped up some soup and tasted it. Yang Zhao said, "You deliberately let me Pong, didn't you?" Chen Mingsheng turned to her and said, "We are opposite each other. How can I feed you?" Yang Zhao was taken aback. "So opposite players can't feed each other?" Chen Mingsheng, "No, they can't." "Oh," Yang Zhao nodded and stared at the fish soup. After a moment, she turned her gaze to Chen Mingsheng. After a while, she squinted her eyes. "Chen Mingsheng, are you lying to me?" Chen Mingsheng gave a silent smile, the corner of his mouth curled up. Yang Zhao took a deep breath, but she couldn't shout or react physically, so she just swallowed back the breath she had taken. Chen Mingsheng put down the ladle, leaned against the counter, and looked at Yang Zhao with a smile. The sound of bubbling soup in the kitchen mixed with the crackling of mayong tiles from outside. Yang Zhao looked into his dark eyes and suddenly felt a bit hot. Chen Mingsheng slowly lowered his head and kissed her. Holding on to Chen Mingsheng's waist, Yang Zhao murmured, "People are still outside." With one hand around Yang Zhao's waist, Chen Mingsheng led her closer to him. Whispering into her ear, his voice hoarse, he said, "Then you should be quiet." They kissed passionately. Yang Zhao felt an overwhelming surge of sensation. The dark red curtains separated two worlds. After a while, someone outside called, "Brother Sheng, is dinner ready yet?" Yang Zhao immediately pushed Chen Mingsheng away and moved aside. Chen Mingsheng shouted back, "Yes, clear the table." Hearing the clatter of mayong tiles being put away, Chen Mingsheng turned around to serve out all the soup. Yang Zhao offered, "I'll take it out." Chen Mingsheng grunted in acknowledgement. Yang Zhao asked, "Are there any other dishes?" Seeing a few plates of cut vegetables on the chopping board, Chen Mingsheng replied, "I'll stir-fry these dishes in a bit." Yang Zhao balanced the soup and went out. The table was already cleared. Seeing her, Wen Lei went over to take the soup from her. "Sis-in-law, let me do it." Yang Zhao thanked him and went back to the kitchen. Chen Mingsheng had already started stir-frying. When Yang Zhao walked in, Chen Mingsheng glanced at her and said, "It'll be done soon, the kitchen is small, go outside and wait for me." Yang Zhao asked, "Can you carry them out by yourself?" Chen Mingsheng nodded, "Yes." Stir-frying didn't take long. In less than 10 minutes, Chen Mingsheng had prepared all the dishes. Using his crutch, he carried them out on a tray and laid them out on the table. When Lei, full of cheer, took a corner seat at the table, "He, Brother Sheng." Chen Mingsheng gave him a look and continued to work. The table was a foldable one, accommodating 6 people. When Lei and Song Hui each took a corner. Chen Mingsheng sat next to Yang Zhao. On Yang Zhao's other side sat Zhang King. "Dinner time, I am so hungry," Wen Lei said. He picked a piece of fish with his chopsticks and put it in his mouth. "Oh, Brother Sheng, your cooking hasn't changed in all these years." He gloated as he ate, flattering Chen Mingsheng. Chen Mingsheng didn't care to entertain him. "Eat your food." Yang Zhao also picked up a piece of fish and found it indeed delicious. She glanced at Wen Lei and asked, "Was his cooking also good before?" "Wife-in-law, yes," Wen Lei said. "Brother Sheng cooks at the top level, an excellent family man." Both Chen Mingsheng and Yang Zhao were speechless. Old Wang interrupted, "Little Wen, if you continue acting up, you'll be beaten." Wen Lei shrugged off Old Wang's words like he wasn't afraid. He continued eating and casually sighed, "It's just a pity that we meet so rarely. I haven't had many chances to eat his cooking." Wen Lei, Chen Mingsheng gave him a warning look. Wen Lei lowered his eyebrows, not looking at him. Yang Zhao glanced at Wen Lei, then lowered her head to eat. The table was small, and with 4 men sitting, it was quite crowded. Every time someone lifted their arm, they would touch the person next to them. Yang Zhao initially wasn't very hungry and put down her chopsticks after a few bites. However, as everyone was still eating, she didn't leave the table. While eating, Song Hui said to Zhong King, "Little King, you should learn to make this fish and cook it for me when we get home." Zhong King grinned at him, "I know how to make fish." Song Hui replied, Your fish is also really good." Zhong King then turned to ask Yang Zhao, "Sister-in-law, are you a good cook?" Yang Zhao hesitated. Her first reaction was to look at Chen Mingsheng. He was just casually eating, looking relaxed. Yang Zhao confessed, "I can't cook." Zhong King blinked, "Sister-in-law, don't be modest." Yang Zhao stressed, "I really can't cook." Chen Mingsheng grunted in agreement. Yang Zhao looked at him, and he returned a warm smile. Zhong King said, "Nowadays many young women don't know how to cook." Yang Zhao wasn't sure what to reply, so she lightly said, "Really?" While talking, Zhong King reached for the soup, saying, "I started cooking when I was very young. Actually, it's quite easy to learn." While she was busy talking, Zhong King didn't notice her bowl was tilted. When she tried to pull it back, the soup poured onto her hand, scalding her. She immediately let go. As a result, the soup spilled all out, most of it onto Yang Zhao's clothes. The soup was indeed hot, but since Yang Zhao had 2 layers on, it wasn't overly serious. However, she stood up, avoiding the soup still spilling. "It's hot, hot." Zhong King blew carefully on her fingers. Song Hui immediately stood up and asked, "How's it? Did you get a burn?" He came over from the other side of the table. gently holding Zhongqing's hand to examine. Chen Mingsheng glanced at young Zhao. There was a large stain on her clothes. He was about to say something, but seeing her shake her head, he remained silent. As Song Hui came over, the table was more crowded. Yang Zhao moved her chair back and stood next to old Wang. Song Hui pulled Zhongqing and said, "Come, let's rinse it with some water." While they were in the kitchen, Wenlei looked at Yang Zhao and asked, "Sister-in-law, are you okay?" Yang Zhao shook her head. "I'm fine." Chen Mingsheng, leaning on his crutch, stood up and said, "Come here, change your clothes." "Okay." Yang Zhao followed Chen Mingsheng to his bedroom. Wenlei watched them go into the room, then turned his head to see old Wang also watching. When their eyes met, Wenlei asked in a low voice, "What do you think?" Old Wang asked, "Think of what?" Wenlei clarified, "Sis-in-law." Old Wang was silent for a while, then said, "I can't tell." Wenlei probed further, "What do you mean you can't tell?" Old Wang lit a cigarette, took a puff and said, "They're not the same kind of people." Inside the room, Chen Mingsheng closed the door. "Were you scalded?" Chen Mingsheng asked. "No," Yang Zhao replied. Chen Mingsheng opened the wardrobe and said, "I'll find one of my shirts for you." There was no response from behind, so Chen Mingsheng turned around, and Yang Zhao stood there giving him a meaningful smile. Chen Mingsheng raised his eyebrow and asked, "What are you thinking?" Yang Zhao just shook her head lightly. "Nothing," she continued. "Pick something nice for me." "I don't have any nice clothes." Speechless at her request, Chen Mingsheng pulled out a white shirt from his wardrobe. "Just get by with this." Yang Zhao took off her stained clothes. Chen Mingsheng looked at the soup-soaked dress and said, "Do you want me to wash this for you later?" "No need, it's impossible to get the oil stains out from this material, just throw it away." Looking at the almost new woolen sweater, Chen Mingsheng lowered his eyes and kept silent. After changing, Yang Zhao told Chen Mingsheng, "Let's go back, don't keep your friends waiting long." When they returned, Song Hui and Zhongqing were already back. Song Hui took Yang Zhao's seat, and when he saw her coming out, he said to her, "Let's switch, her hand got burned and I want to keep an eye on her." Yang Zhao nodded and sat where Song Hui had been. Zhongqing was careful with what she said. "Sister-in-law, later, let me help you wash your clothes." Holding Zhongqing's wrist, Song Hui quietly said, "How can you wash with your hand burnt?" Zhongqing pouted and didn't say anything. Yang Zhao replied, "It's okay, I can wash it myself later." Chen Mingsheng gave her a glance but said nothing. They finished their meal fairly quickly, and thanks to Wenlei's presence, the atmosphere at the table didn't turn awkward.